Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wednesday edition of the Paranormal Portal. It is time once again for us to journey into the worlds of the unknown, which I guess is good. So welcome. I hope you're having a great week. It's hump day night, so you made it over halfway. That's good. Hope your week is going wonderful. And thank you so much for spending tonight with us. And hopefully you enjoyed enough to stick around. And I just want you to know, I'm not here alone. I am here with my good friend, my co-host, the big toe of the Paranormal Portal himself, Mr. Don Longbeard.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Ah, bien. ¿Y tú?
Okay.
I just said fine, and you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
Good. A little tired, a little rummy, but you know that's what happens.
Did you say rummy?
Rummy, yeah, rummy.
Rummy. Is that drunk?
No.
Oh, yeah, lover.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
is that pirate for something?
No, it just means that I'm not full tilt. I'm not.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, that's
kind of.
Well, you're in the right place, Don, because we're never full tilt here.
Well, that's true. There's a truth right there.
Absolutely. We got tons of truth. Just stick around, and as always, we'll do our best to fill your heads full of all kinds of.
MCAT is here.
I saw that. Yeah, it was nice to see him. Good to see all of you guys. Thank you for being here. Farm's here, Jake's here, Rachel's here, Jake is here again, MCAT, Flyer Tuck, Ghost Magnet, and I think that's kind of the current events.
Surfer.
Anyhow,
hi.
Surfer. Did you say?
Flyer Tuck. Surfer, huh? Who's Flyer Tuck?
I don't know. That's a new name.
Oh,
good to meet you, though. Good. Thanks for stopping in.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Portal Mom. Good to see you. And hello to all of you. Thank you so much again for being here. We got a bunch on the roster for tonight. We're going to do a bunch of video stuff tonight.
We're going to make fun of somebody. That's what we're going to do.
If you didn't see the picture on your way in, then you'll sort it out soon enough. We've got some stories to tell, huh? I'm here to tell you. But, yeah, we're going to have a good time. So we're going to cover all of the paranormal goodness you've come to love here on the Portal as well. But we got a little special edition of the show tonight. So I hope you guys are ready. It's going to be epic. And just a quick special thanks to the sponsor, Cryptid Coin. It's a cryptocurrency with its hard encrypted research and investigation. If you're looking for an alternative investment, please check it out, because they are, a great option, I think. And they've stepped up and decided to, help support the show. So I also want to take a moment to...
Cliff Notes?
Yeah, I've got notes everywhere. I've got scribbles here and there and everywhere. I also want to take a moment to point out there's another conference coming up in June, June 17th in Spokane, Washington, which is in our neck of the woods here.
No.
And I'm going to be there. And... It's going to be the Sasquatch Roundup in Spokane, and there's going to be Michael Freeman, who's the son of Paul Freeman, who took the amazing video, which we're going to also cover tonight a little bit. Dr. Jeff Meldrum is going to be there, Ken Gerhard, Tom Seawood, and it's going to be, as it stands now, It's going to be emceed by me. So that's coming up again, June 17th.
What?
In Spokane.
It's going to be emceed by who?
By me.
Wow, okay.
That's right, Don.
Wow.
Stepping up in the world. So check it out. And special thanks to Cryptid Coin.
With you.
Yeah, believe me, I didn't find out long ago either. But check out cryptidcoin.io to check out and see if Cryptid Coin looks like an investment for you. And it's now available on PancakeSwap. And special thanks to Cryptid Coin for making it happen. And Cryptid Coin is a subsidiary of Extreme Expeditions Northwest LLC, who are also putting on the Sasquatch Roundup in Spokane. So that's why we got the double notice tonight. But let's get on with our journey.
Father Mike's here.
Father Mike, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping in. So if you're all ready, hang on. It's about to get spooky. And there's the boom done.
Amateur.
We're going to drop the boom right now. Yeah, other than hitting the wrong button. Other than hitting the wrong button, I'm doing just fine tonight. So, but if you're new to the show, don't have high expectations, and you'll be just fine. If you're coming in with high expectations, you might leave. You might leave a little disappointed. But
might as well just go ahead and go now.
Just go now. Just hit a thumbs
Thanks
up on
for
the
coming
way.
in. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping.
Yeah, thumbs up and on your way.
So, all right, folks, it's time for the news to start it all off. So let's dive into that. You ready, Don?
Sure, as long as it's not the TTBSA we're talking about, I'm cool.
I don't think at all tonight.
Oh,
no.
goodness.
Yeah, we're good.
My mic is still live.
All right. Well, what did you say?
I said my mic is still live.
Yeah, it is. What'd you do?
I just have to remember that sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't forget it. Yeah. We are, of course, diving into the Paranormal Portal news desk now, folks. So we're going to bring you all the lovely news and entertainment that we can muster. I'm going to make that bigger. I don't know how that got so small. There we go. Boom. All right. Looks more official now. But we got some articles I've curated for your interest tonight. So hopefully you leave here knowing something you didn't know when you came, other than your opinion of either myself or Don or the show.
Oh, boy.
Which hopefully is always wonderful. But the first news story on the roster tonight, coming from unexplained-mysteries.com. It's a fantastic site. Please check them out. Please support what they're doing. And let me shut their ad down. And check it out. It's a great site. So, bizarre moaning sound seems to be plaguing American airline flights. A moaning sound on.
Moaning sound. Is it Myrtle?
I don't think so.
Myrtle?
I don't know. Let's see what it says, though. Some passengers have been reporting very strange sounds over the intercom during their
Get the microphone out of the bathroom.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on up there.
What's
a mile up in the sky.
What's this mile high stuff?
An extremely bizarre phenomenon was recently brought to light when a film producer, Emerson Collins, posted up a recording he had made during his flight from Los Angeles to Dallas on September 6th. The weirdest flight ever, he wrote. These sounds started coming over the intercom before takeoff and continued throughout the flight. They couldn't stop it, and after landing, still had no idea what it was. Described as being halfway
Really?
halfway between climax and vomiting, the sounds were like a
Climactic vomiting.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The sounds were like a peculiar moaning and groaning, as though someone was struggling with constipation under the influence. At various times throughout the flight, these bizarre sounds could be heard being broadcast to everyone on the plane throughout the intercom, prompting the staff to apologize for the disturbance. Ladies and gentlemen, we realize this is an extremely irritating sound coming over the public announcements, the attendant said. The flight deck is trying to troubleshoot, trying to turn it off, so please be patient with us. We know this is very odd anomaly, and none of us are enjoying it. Apparently not. Somebody's enjoying it, you know what I'm saying? Oh
boy.
The mystery deepened further still when it was revealed that technology executive Bradley P. Allen had also heard the same weird noises during an American Airlines flight back in July, suggesting it was not an isolated incident. He recalled that it had only happened a few times, but some passengers had been freaked out by it. There's also a third report of the same phenomena occurring on September 18th on a flight from John Wayne Airport in Orange County to Dallas. As things stand, no definitive explanation for the enigma has been forthcoming, and you can hear the sounds for yourself in the tweet below.
Wow.
Should we hear them?
Sure.
We should hear these, I think.
I think so.
And again, this is from Emerson Collins and his Twitter. So let's hear his TikTok Twitter tweet. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, TikTok Twitter tweet. I don't know what the hell that
4
means.
T's in a row. That's very illiterate.
That's as many as I can pile up in one sentence.
Yeah,
So
I know.
I couldn't even think of a word to follow. I just stumped my brain. All right, let's hear these weird, strange sounds, folks. Word to the wise, I have no idea what we're going to hear. So if you have youngins, kick them out of the room. I don't know what this is going to be.
Someone on this flight seems to have broken into the intercom system and continues to make a sound that is somewhere between an orgasm and vomiting.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Sorry, I had to cough there.
There's an extremely irritating sound coming over the public announcements. The flight deck is trying to troubleshoot, trying to turn it off. So please be patient with us. We know this is a very odd anomaly, and none of us are enjoying it. So we do appreciate your attention just for a few more moments so we figure out how to turn it off. Thank you.
Who is having a puke yank?
Oh my God. This is a long time. This is a long video. So I'm going to cut it there. If you want to know more, I'm sure you can find it. Just go over to unexplained-mysteries.com, Emerson Collins, and you can enjoy the full program on your own time. But I played you a minute of it, which you know somebody who hacked the Bluetooth on that or something and was just dicking around.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh my God, that's so hilarious. There you go, folks. This is the kind of news you will get nowhere else. Just nowhere else.
It's not worthy of any place else.
Are you kidding me? This is gold. This is news gold here. Dang, mainstream media skipping all the good stuff. All right, let's get back at it here and find out what's next. That might be a tough one to follow.
Yeah,
So
no doubt.
we'll see what we dig up here. And again, to unexplained-mysteries.com. God, that was funny. Those sounds are so hilarious. Oh, somebody was just having a heyday. You know, they were like, you know, somebody's going to get busted eventually. All right, sightings of rooftop ghost spark panic in Varanasi, New Delhi. Sightings of rooftop ghosts spark panic in Varanasi, New Delhi. I haven't seen this one either, so let's see what's going on. Something's been spooking residents in one part of India, and nobody seems to know exactly what it is. An intriguing news story from New Delhi this week concerns the alleged presence of a paranormal entity that residents of Varanasi have been seeing on the rooftops of local buildings. The unexplained visitor, which is said to be dressed all in white, has caused so much concern among the locals that some people are now just too scared to leave their homes.
Wow.
Yikes. It is not particularly unusual for such cases of mass hysteria to strike in some of the poorer parts of the world or where the superstitious beliefs are commonplace. But in this particular case, someone has actually captured an alleged spirit on camera and posted it up on the internet. The clip, which can be viewed below, is rather difficult to make out, but it does appear to show a white-clothed figure standing or perhaps sitting on the edge of a building's roof a short distance away. The figure doesn't really move much. It's just kind of chilling on the edge around 10 or 20 feet in the air. So could this really be a ghost? While some of the locals evidently think so, it seems more likely that this is either a regular person wearing a white sheet or robe, or even just a sheet draped over the edge of the building.
There you go.
Police have also reportedly registered a case against known miscreants at a local station, suggesting that this might be more of a prank than a usual case of supernatural intervention. But let's check it out. It's a video night here in the portal. Let's see what this video holds. Okay, there's no sound. Let's just make this bigger, though, because it's really hard to see. Yeah, there it is right there.
Oh.
Yeah, it does just look like a sheet hung up on something.
Kind of does, yeah.
That was it.
Wow, that was it?
That was really the whole thing. So there you have it. I guess this is probably a better, just the still images were just fine in this case, but there's not much to see.
Yeah, there's not much there. Did it disappear at some point, or
No, I don't know.
is it just sitting there?
I guess it looks like it's just stationary, but it's
chilling.
freaking people out.
It's just chilling.
It's just chilling,
Chilling.
which,
Like a villain.
it's the cold spots. They chilling.
Oh, boy.
Thank you.
They chill in the
Ghosts, cold spots. Yeah.
They chill in the cold spots.
Thanks. I know. I'm just saying. You can't make this kind of stuff up, folks.
Boy, you make it up on the fly. It's amazing.
I don't know. Usually inadvertently more than intentionally.
Sure enough. Hi, Cade.
Hi, Cade.
Hi,
Good to
Cade.
see you, Mr. Moya.
Mr. Moya.
Hi.
They call me Mr. Cade Moya.
They call you that?
Oh, gosh.
All right. Unexplainedmysteries.com.
No, they'd call me Cade Moyer.
Moyer. Yeah, that's how you'd say it over here in the States. Moyer. I think Moya sounds cool.
Yeah, give it the English.
If you ever move to the
British
States, you're gonna have
accent,
to. You're gonna.
Australian accent. Oh my God, he's gonna kill me.
Yeah, if you move to the States, you're gonna have to change it to Moya.
Moya.
Moya. So, all right, let's go to the next article from unexplained-mysteries.com. Of course, Cade Moya, our good friend, is host and creator of the Believe podcast from Australia. So check it out as well.
I think he just clocked in because he saw the name Russ Acord on it. He's here to poke some fun at Russ is with us.
Well,
guess.
he's going to hear some stories.
Well, he's gonna hear
All
a
of us
couple.
are going to relish in the tales of Russ. Here's the next one up. Unexplained-mysteries.com reports NASA successfully smashes space probe into an asteroid.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that apparently
It
happened.
was the size of like a V-dub.
The
Like
probe
a
or
bug
the rock?
something. The probe.
Oh, okay.
The rock was like 500
Oh.
feet or something. It was 500 something. I'm sure you'll read it. But
All right, the camera feed from the probe showed its last moments as it careened into the asteroid Dimorphos. Launched back in November 2021, DART, Double Asteroid Redirection Test, another acronym, love it, was designed to test if it's possible to deflect a dangerous incoming asteroid by deliberately flying a spacecraft straight into it. For the mission, scientists chose to send the probe to collide with Dimorphos, a moon of the asteroid Didymos, which measures around 160 meters across and poses no actual threat to the Earth.
so we're just gonna beat it up.
We're just going to end up creating a whole
Now we
domino effect in the
Now
universe
we've got
now.
debris, and one little tiny piece is
Yep.
gonna come for us.
This is the butterfly effect right here, folks.
Exactly.
You'll know the moment when things went all screwed up in the
yeah.
universe is right here.
and we'll just all blame it on NASA again.
After
Need another stupid ass.
asteroid, yeah. After spending months flying through space, DART made its final approach a few hours ago, recording a series of images as it got closer and closer to its target at a speed of 22,000 kilometers per hour. That's moving.
That's hot.
Controllers at the Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Laboratory waited with bated breath as they watched the final few images, which showed the surface of the Dimorphos getting closer and closer until the probe smashed headlong into the space rock, abruptly ending the signal. While it's likely to be some time before NASA will be able to confirm exactly what effect the collision has had on the trajectory of Dimorphos, the mission has been hailed as a complete success and a demonstration that it is very possible indeed to smash a spacecraft into an asteroid. If Dimorphos had in fact been a dangerous asteroid on a collision course with the Earth, this mission, or one very much like it, might have literally prevented the destruction of our civilization. Yeah, but they wouldn't just be driving a satellite into it. That satellite would be loaded with all kinds of colorful effects, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
it was.
They're just seeing if they could drive it into it for now. They
Yeah,
don't.
but-
I don't really think they thought that alone was going to do it. They're just seeing if they could hit it. I mean, really, yeah. Don't you think? Probably, maybe.
It's kind of like sounding it at the bar. Let's see if I can hit it.
Oh, jeez, Don. I just can't take you anywhere, dude. All right, so a lot of lonely Saturdays, huh, Don? All right, let's continue on. But I don't think that they were expecting that to actually move the asteroid as much as they were seeing if they could drive that satellite into it, which that satellite in future versions of Danger would be loaded with something to help encourage it. I'm betting. But anyway, very cool. They did it, folks. They did it. Let's go to the next one. And this one is a UFO report.
Yep, they hit it.
They did. Here it is from unexplained-mysteries.com. This is a patch that's out now. It's a new seal for another group in the government, and people are freaking out because they put a UFO on it. UFO appears an official logo of U.S. Aviation Intelligence Office. Yep, they put a UFO right there. Right there, folks. Social media was buzzing this week after an image of a flying saucer was spotted in an official intelligence office seal. While U.S. intelligence officials have recently been more open about their efforts to investigate UFOs, really, I don't think so, or unidentified aerial phenomena, nobody expected an official U.S. intelligence office to actually include an image of a flying saucer on its official seal. The unexpected extra turned up in the official seal for the National Intelligence Manager Aviation, NIMA. Nice. A position currently held by U.S. Air Force Major General Daniel L. Simpson, who resides within the office of the National Director of Intelligence. The seal, which depicts 4 different types of aircraft as part of its logo, also shows a 5th inclusion in the form of a stereotypical flying saucer at the bottom left-hand side of the image. While the office hasn't commented directly on this change at the time of the writing, it is not entirely surprising and does seem to confirm its commitment to investigating all possible aerial threats. According to a mission statement on the website, the office aims to identify, analyze, and integrate intelligence on threats and vulnerabilities in the air domain. As the logo update demonstrates, UAPs are very much a part of those objectives. So there you have it. There's a UFO on there. Yeehaw. All right. Well, this one turned too. What's the significance of that? Like I did a quick turn. Okay, cool. There you have it. That's a little bit of news. Did you know that before you came in?
Did you know that? Did you know it now?
You know it now.
Did you?
Would you, did you? All right, here we go. Going to the next one, and this is having to do with a weird shark that was caught in Australia, of all places. Go figure. All right, Cade, pay attention. Pay attention.
Explain this one, and don't blame it on Foster's.
It's not Foster's.
It's not Foster's.
It's Australian for beer. Here we go. This is Unexplained Mysteries right from the press. Mystery surrounds nightmare shark caught in Australia. Look at that deal.
Wow.
Right? That looks like it could carve chunks out of you like nobody's business. Look at the size of that eye. Yeah. That's an enormous eye. Either this thing's in really tiny, or that's a huge eye.
It's Japanese.
Okay. It's an anime shark.
It's Fukumoto.
Okay, a fisherman.
Fukushima.
Oh, Fukushima. Yeah, maybe.
Shark.
A fisherman recently reeled in a rather strange-looking shark, and nobody's quite sure what its species it is. Sporting bulging green eyes and a set of teeth that look like they belong in the mouth of something out of a horror movie, this unusual-looking shark was recently caught off of the coast of New South Wales at a depth of around 2,130 feet by an angler who goes by the name of Trapman Bermagui. I don't know how you say that, Bermagui, on social media. After posting an image of the catch on Facebook, he was quickly inundated with comments from other users who were keen to figure out exactly what species the unusual shark could possibly be. Some joked that the shark appeared to be wearing false teeth, while many others commented on its bizarre and disturbing appearance, labeling it the stuff of nightmares. Mm-hmm. As for the species, many suggested it could be a cookie cutter shark, goblin shark, or lantern shark, but Bermagui disagreed, instead maintaining that it was most likely a rough-skinned shark, otherwise known as an endeavor dogfish, depending on which market it is being sold at. Experts, meanwhile, seem to disagree with this identification, with some suggesting that it could be a deep-water kite-fin shark, and others even putting forward the possibility it could be a whole new species entirely. Whatever the case, you certainly don't want one to come face-to-face with it while swimming. Yeah, no doubt. Man, that'll change your religion. Oof. All right, there you go. I'm just saying.
Wow.
All right. Face only a mom could love, right, Don? Okay. It looks like it changed a lot about you in a hurry.
Yeah, the first thing I changed is my
your
shorts.
Underwear. Yeah. That's all right, Don. There's a brown shark. He'll eat whatever you drop.
G.I. Joe swimming in the water.
Along came a brown shark. Eddie Murphy, delirious. Classic comedy. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to the next to last story. I guess there's 2 stories left, if I'm looking at this right. All right, and this is unexplained-mysteries.com reports. Resurfaced Halloween.
Which is it?
Resurfaced History Channel clip shows an alien in a man's bedroom. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's check this out. Footage recorded in 2006 allegedly shows an unidentified entity entering a man's bedroom in the middle of the night. I remember this. The eerie clip, which was posted up earlier this month on the official YouTube channel of the History Channel, was previously broadcast in an episode of The Proof is Out There, in a 2021 TV series that attempted to get to the bottom of a number of different unexplained phenomena. This particular episode had featured a story of a man named David who recorded something strange on CCTV camera in his home in Pensacola, Florida, back in 2006. He'd been asleep in his bedroom one night when the camera suddenly picked up what appeared to be a tall, thin humanoid entity peering around the side of the door. The clip shows the figure briefly moving into view as though surveying the room. While the quality of the footage is rough to say the least, it certainly does appear to show a strangely proportioned and abnormally tall and skinny person in the doorway. The show on which the clip was featured then likens the figure to a stereotypical alien gray, the most common depiction of an alien entity in popular culture. As it stands, however, it's difficult to tell what the figure is. There's a possibility that it's simply a human and that the footage has distorted their appearance somehow, and it's also possible that the whole thing is a hoax. You can check out the clip yourself below. I guess we can do that, but I'm going to have to mute it, I'm sure, because I don't want to play all the audio. I just want to get to the actual footage. Okay, so it's Pensacola, Florida. There it is. There's the room. Oh, yeah, there it is, peeking around the corner. That's just creepy as hell.
I remember seeing that a lot.
I do too, yeah. I remember watching this.
Yep. It freaked me
And
out.
there it is, yep, peeking right around there. Oh, I mean, what the hell is that?
It's the signs. Have you seen signs? You've seen
Yes,
the aliens
that's
and
right.
signs.
Right.
You just need amoebas in the water and you'll be fine.
Well, that is strange, though. I don't know.
It's got amoebas in it.
It's not really moving that much. I mean, it could be a cardboard cut. Oh, no, that it did shift there.
Yeah, it's shifted.
Yep. So, I don't know, folks. Is that an alien? I guess it could be. Right there in the doorway. It does look like it has an abnormally skinny leg, though.
Yeah.
That is super skinny. Again, it's a potato camera, so you get what you get, but
True,
it's
yeah.
very much...
Did he bring the probe?
It's not high definition, it's just definition. It's just D.
So he did bring the probe.
Yeah. I see what you did there. God, this is going in the... We're going to hell already. It's too early in the show to go all this way in the gutter. But there you have it. Is it? Maybe. Maybe that's a real alien, folks. Obviously we won't get much from the quality of the image, but it's depicting something there that looks really odd. Let's get to the next and last article tonight on the newscast. And this is, again, from unexplained-mysteries.com. Scientists outline outrageous plan to refreeze the North and South poles. From the bad idea files comes this gem. God, it just bugs the hell out of me that people, in our hubris, we think we just know enough, and we can just tell what things are supposed to be happening. We've been on this rock for maybe 50 to 100,000 years, whatever, maybe even longer. But the idea is that we don't know much of anything at all, and you have people trying to plan global atmospheric events, and that's absolutely terrifying. These are the people that are going to kill us. I have no doubt about it. These people are going to throw things into such a mess that it's going to take generations to figure out. Maybe even akin to like a nuclear winter or something. I mean, I don't understand who is giving these clowns the keys to the car, Right. It's like, great, have theories, talk about it, show evidence and, show your research, but you don't get to spray stuff. I mean, you just don't get to do that. We don't know what we're doing yet. All right, the controversial plan would involve using a fleet of 125 tanker jets to shroud part of the Earth's atmosphere.
Which, yeah.
And then the humans killed this guy. Does that sound like the Matrix to you? Because it sounds like the Matrix to me.
Well, yeah, it's the humans bird in the sky.
Yeah.
We bird in the sky.
Either
but
way.
Still.
Some climate experts have recently warned that human activities have pushed global warming past a tipping point, making the melting of the ice caps a practical inevitability. Now, though, a new study headed up by Wake Smith from Yale University has put forward a controversial plan to refreeze the North and South poles and stop the issue in its tracks. To achieve this, scientists propose spraying microscopic aerosol particles into the atmosphere. Yeah, that can't go about. That must not go wrong, I'm sure. Let's just introduce particles.
Right.
The particles, primarily sulfur dioxide, would be sprayed in two large clouds in both hemispheres at around 43,000 feet, where they would drift towards the poles and cast a slight shadow over them. This in turn would reduce the temperature and minimize ice loss. To accomplish such a feat, the scientists propose using a fleet of 125 military air-to-air refueling tankers that would be required to conduct 175,000 flights a year. If all this sounds a bit iffy, that's because it is. It's not least due to the potential unintended consequences of spraying such large amounts of particles into the atmosphere, but also because of the sheer logistics involved in launching more than 10,000 flights every month. The study's authors, however, remain adamant that it would be beneficial exercise. If the risk to benefit equation were to pay off anywhere, it would be in the poles, said Smith. Any intentional tuning of the global thermostat would be of common interest to all of humanity. Given the sheer scale and impact of the project, however, it would most likely need the approval and support of international community before it could ever realistically go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not doing stuff up there now at all.
No, not at all. No.
No, of course not. Everything's fine. Those are clouds. So, all
They're
right, folks.
straight lines, but they're clouds.
Yeah, those are amazing. Amazing.
Okay, consume.
All right. Well, whatever the case is, folks, I just think it's that with our base of knowledge that we have now, and it's growing, I think we've done amazing things, but I don't think we're ready to start turning the thermostat of the globe yet. We are doing so unintended, maybe. That might be absolutely true. I don't pretend to know for sure. What I do know is that spraying anything in the atmosphere that doesn't already exist there is not going to work out well. Just not a good idea. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. It's my show. That's what you get. I might be an idiot, but it's my show. All right. That's it for the news, Don. You feel informed?
I feel depressed. Nice. I'm like, jeez.
Well, Captain Sunshine, let's go back to the rest of the show. Here we go. Don.
Hi.
It's you and me, buddy.
Hey, how are you?
We're in this to win this.
We're in it to win it.
We're in it to win it. All right, folks. So
we're back like a bad habit.
Now, normally we would do the Discord conversation right now, but I tell you what, we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to do the Discord conversation later, but right now we're going to dive into some events from our latest. Now, we have a secondary channel. It's called the Paranormal Portal Pieces, and it's basically clips and highlights channel that we're working on building up the catalog to. And if you're not already involved over there, if you haven't already subscribed, please head over to youtube.com/paranormal portal pieces. It's just all 3 words together, and get subscribed over there. We're trying to do weekly episodes. We're not quite always on weekly episodes, but we're doing our best, and we're going to continue to ramp that up.
They're hard to do.
They are. Yeah, I mean, you gotta dig through archives. You gotta dig through footage. You've got to clip and paste and effects and level it out. It's a lot of work. Sheldon's done a hell of a job on these, but we're gonna highlight one of those tonight for your viewing pleasure, and it also brings us into our next discussion.
Thanks, Sheldon.
Which is Russ Acord.
Russell
Acord of Expedition Bigfoot is featured on this week's Pieces and more. Following this, we'll have more discussions about Mr. Russell Acord. Fantastic guy. We've met him at a number of conferences, and really is just an incredible guy. No question. Well, we we like to have fun with Russ, but Russ likes to have fun with us too.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to showcase tonight, of course. So let's get to that Pieces video so you guys can see what the Paranormal Portal Pieces is all about. This is the newest episode, which was just released today.
Today.
And
I was the first to like it and comment. And
Don.
you guys are a bunch of losers.
Nice. Okay, Don.
It's a great way to keep your audience.
Yeah, way to go, Don.
Yeah,
Why is our subscriber count going down?
Why is it going backwards?
All right, here it is. Here's the latest Paranormal Portal Pieces, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. Holy Christ. What the hell is that? Okay, let's try that again, folks. We're live from Phenomicon, everybody. We are live here in Vernal, Utah at the Phenomicon event. As you can see, this is the front entrance and lots of vendors and stuff going on here. It's where am I? I'm not sure where you are, but I am in Vernal, Utah from Phenomicon. So I'm going to give you guys a little tour through the, thank you, Colleen. All right. Could be a tad louder. I don't know if I can do a tad louder. Oh God, did I hit the volume thing? Hold on, let me see if I can do this. I think I can do it on the earbud. Yeah, it's maxed out. So you're getting all of me, I think. But anyway, this is as good as my phone can do. I got the old school selfie stick here. I'm going old school. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Phenomicon. And it's been a day full of presentations. Yell really loud. I can do this, I guess. Does that help? And I'll walk along the side here. We'll go into the conference hall, but I'm going to have to kind of shut up because there's a lot of presentation going on there. And lots of things going on.
And I didn't realize.
Check out this stuff. This stuff is amazing.
You're not supposed to be walking.
This is Claudia. Amazing.
I go over there and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to set up this little Instamatic camera, and take a picture.
Claudio
And
Bergman, ladies and
guy
gentlemen.
that one, kind of just
Good to
a
see you,
desert
Claudio.
person who's
Live.
got camel
Live on
and
YouTube.
robes and stuff. He's like, you take a picture.
We're live on
Yeah,
YouTube. I'm just giving them a tour.
It's like, oh, great. So I handed my camera. Stupid.
This is
But anyway,
Dr. Jeff
so he
Meldrum
gets over there, he
stuff.
takes a picture,
Look at those
he's like,
prints.
I'm like,
Here's my
it's
hand.
like $5.
Here's my
Oh,
hand.
yeah.
I got
They
an
told me about it.
average size hand, I guess, but look at the size of
So
that.
I give it $5.
You can
He
actually
goes,
buy
"Have you been
these
up the
here."
pyramid?" I said, no.
I don't think Ron Moorhead's coming.
I said, yes.
I didn't think so. I don't think he's on the
I
list
said,
for
"How
this
much?"
one.
$20.
He's probably got other events going on.
I'm
Look
a
at
kid
these
from
incredible
Rockdale, Texas.
prints.
I'm going into the pyramid
Look at
for
that.
$20. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going.
Amazing.
So we go over there, we go through,
My foot.
and when I was there was a
Sasquatch
little
foot.
rope across
Much smaller.
the entrance, and actually you can't go through there, you go through what's called Robber's
Of course,
Tunnel. Because
the
the
man
robbers
himself,
couldn't get
Dr.
through
Jeff
the
Meldrum.
granite, they had to blast their way through the limestone into the King's Chamber. This is not a picture I took, my picture is really faded and it doesn't go, I got that off of the internet. But I go in the King's Chamber, and there is, there we go. That's an incandescent light. It's the only light in that room, right? It's just, it's barely lit in there. And I went in there and I looked in the sarcophagus.
Ladies and
the
gentlemen,
case
Mr.
of
Russell
the
Acord,
sarcophagus, nothing's in
who's
there.
not only
Looked
on
all around, nothing's in
Expedition
there. And I
Bigfoot,
thought,
but he's an
I did the
author.
pyramid. And then, it was right
Several
out of the
books.
70s, so we had all
And
this
get a
pyramid
photo
myth
signed.
power stuff,
Oh, good.
all these
Okay.
books and all that stuff.
I'm glad.
So
I'm
I
trying to
sat
talk
down,
quietly.
I tried to have a metaphysical experience. I just sat down and
Look
got
at those
quiet
guys.
for about 30
Isn't that
minutes
awesome?
And just listened to the pyramid. And nothing happened.
And
I
I'll
got
bring
up
it over
and
to
I
Don in a
know,
few minutes.
yeah, y'all wanted
But we're
something
just
to
going
happen.
through the
It didn't.
conference hall here.
But I got up And I start walking down, and there's another guy down there, and he's dressed in all white uniform. He's got a black belt, and he's got a black gun and stuff like that. And he's like, "Are you alone?" And I was like, "Yeah." "Are you alone?" I said, "Yes." "Why? How did you get in the pyramid?" I said, "Guy, the pyramid is closed." That was just a street person that let me in the pyramid and got $20 from me. So I got criminal trespassed out of the pyramid, told not to come back. So there you go. Thank you, try the chicken cacciatore there. I really, really wanted to come out of there with a great story. That was it. But I wanted that experience. And I feel like that there are people that can have that experience, especially in a place like that. I mean, everything. You guys have heard.
All right, so I just wanted to give you a little walk through what's going on. Of course, several days of events still ahead. I don't want to just walk you through the same stuff over and over. So as there's things to share, we'll share it. But just remember, Don, anything in closing?
Don't watch me eat.
Don't watch Don eat.
It was just so awesome just to
It really was.
meet those people, see Russ again. I really wish we could have hung out with Russ a little bit more, but
Yeah, he's
that
such
was
a busy
beyond-
guy anyway.
He
though.
is, yeah. He's always
Yeah, if you ever see, if you don't know Russ Acord, he's of course one of the key figures in Expedition Bigfoot.
Yep.
And we've seen him at several conferences now.
God, the
Wonderful
guy's just a
guy.
sweetheart.
He's awesome.
Yep.
And he's got a great sense of humor, and he's a prankster as well. So
Oh my God, yes. That's right.
yeah, I was.
He got him so good.
He got me pretty good. I was standing, just peeked into the conference hall where the speakers were, and I'm standing there watching and stuff. And all of a sudden, first of all, just for the record, I'm blind in my peripheral on my right hand side, so I can't see anything because I got shot in the eye as a 12-year-old, and so I have no peripheral vision. So I'm standing there. All of a sudden, this ape hands in my chest.
Ape hands.
I'm like, what the hell was that? And I look over at Russ, and he's on his way to the restroom or
Just
whatever.
walking by.
So yeah, he just chests
Gives
me,
you-
whap, and the guy is really strong. Like he's about 6'3" and just corded steel.
Yeah.
He's no joke. I mean, that guy here carries a 90-pound sack up
91.
mountains or whatever. So, I mean, he's really made of corded steel. So.
Yep.
He's incredibly strong. And when he put his hand on my chest, I was like, you know? I was like, what? First of all, I wasn't ready for it. So it was like instant exhale. It's like,
Right.
so I looked over and it was him, and he's smirking at me and stuff. And then we came back. I'm still standing there. Well, he came back behind me, and all of a sudden he's like grabbing me on the shoulders and like shaking me. I'm like, oh, hey, and I didn't really know what was going on, but I'm like, oh, hey, Russ. And he stood by me for a second. We chatted for a second, and he went back to his booth, which was,
He's so awesome.
it was just in the same conference hall. So I'm standing there. I'm like, well, I better get back to the table. So I turn around and walk. Now there's people standing kind of behind me, and I'm just standing in the doorway, basically watching the speaker.
Right.
And there's people standing behind me. And as I'm leaving, this sweet little old lady, she had to be about literally like 4'10" and about 80 years old. She goes, "You got something in your shirt." I'm like, "What?" "You got something sticking out of your shirt." I reach back. Here's a big swab of hand towel, like paper towel sticking out of my neck and down my back. I'm like, jeez. And I pull it out, and I look over at Russ, and he's just sitting there going, like that. I had to laugh. It was really classic.
And then later he comes up to me and he goes, that really sucks. I said, what's that, Russ? Well, you know what I did to Brent, right? I said, yeah, I saw. He goes, and then some little old lady ratted me out.
Some sweet old lady ratted him out. Some lovely old soul that didn't want to see me look like an idiot ratted him out.
She hasn't watched the show, has she?
So that was just funny. It was like,
It was
God.
freaking awesome.
So you got to keep your eye on Russ. I'll
Yeah,
just put
paper
that out
towel
there.
necktie,
Yeah.
yes.
You got to be watching. Last time we met, one of the times we met Russ, he took our microphone into the bathroom and flushed a bunch of times. So we're getting on our headsets. We're getting flushing noises.
He's like, yeah, that just happened.
So he is
That was precious.
absolutely a prankster. Just an amazing, fun guy. Yeah. So,
Oh
If you don't, if you're ever hanging around Russell Acord, just watch your six.
Just, yeah. And your 9 and your 3.
There it is, folks. So that was an episode of the Paranormal Portal Pieces, and just a fantastic, cool thing. I don't know. It's just neat to have these friendships and these cool experiences. But I did want to showcase the actual sound file. Don dug it up, and to give you an idea. So to set up this again, Don and I are at Medellin Falls. We got all our gear hooked up, and Don's got these lapel mics, basically remote mics that you can run around with. And so we got our headphones on, all wired in, sound checks, everything's good. And Russ says, "Hey, are these things working?" And Don says, yeah. He goes, "Oh, okay, I'll be right back." And he takes it. And this is what we hear in our headphones on the stage in front of all these people. All right, let me get it queued up. This is the sound file.
Hey guys, I was just thinking about you.
Freaking Russ.
Yeah, that's right. That just happened.
So this is the man you've all come to love on Expedition Bigfoot. This is the man you meet in person. So we were just like, what the hell is going on? What is going on? And all of a sudden it's just like, hey guys, thinking about you. Then the flushing, it's like, oh my God.
Wow.
That was so funny. But
that guy's a cut up.
there's other awesome stories too. Wes had a great one. He was going to try to call in tonight, but he's been tied up on an episode he's working on. But and I would try to retell it, but I could never tell Wes's story like Wes could tell his story. But it's hilarious. It's like, oh my God. Yeah.
Did you download that video clip?
Which one?
The one I put a video clip up there too.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, I didn't mark it as such. It's it's in the drive.
It's in the drive?
Yeah.
How long is it going to take?
Oh, yeah. It was just that piece that we recorded outside.
Hold on, where's the drive? Here we go. This is it. Let's see. I got Tabsaurus. Which one?
It's 0000.
This?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, that was my fault.
Oh, download anyway. Sorry, we're going to be downloading another piece of this puzzle. Which video file is it?
It was the last day, and he gave us our drop.
Oh yeah.
It's the video for the drop.
Oh, okay, right. All right, yeah, it's downloading right now. We'll play that for your entertainment as well. But yeah, he's just a nice guy, and it's really cool. The guy's got a heart of gold and truly just loves to have a good time and is really good to people. I've never seen that man ever have anything but graciousness and kindness to everybody he meets. And he gets swamped at these events too, just like Wes. He and Wes both just get swamped. People are coming up all the time.
Oh, God, yeah.
And he's going. The man's on his feet all day and talking and taking pictures with people. and it's just really cool.
Robert the Bruce says, Russ Acord, preeminent Bigfoot field researcher, legendary toilet clogger. Yes.
Yeah, you might be. I don't know. I don't know what he was flushing there, but yeah.
Hi, Estrella. How are you?
Hi, Estrella.
Hi. Jeez. Yeah.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
I got the video now. Let's see. Let me see. I got to open it with. I'm just going through my stuff. Here we go.
Just an MP4.
Yeah, no, I know. I got to open it with an application though, and then I got to get it ready. And
yeah, everybody say hi to Estrella. She's one of our oldest.
okay.
Wow, that's loud.
It is loud. I didn't realize. I'll have to turn it down a little bit. Let me back it up here.
Who's that goof?
Who's that goof? Were you on camera? Oh, see what I did there? Hold on, I'm trying to cue this up, so just bear with me, folks. This is, I just want to make sure it's not overly loud. What the hell's the volume? Oh, it's there it is. It's got
Wow.
half. Okay, so this is the last day when we're leaving Phenomicon, hanging out with Wes a little bit before we left, and with Russ. So we can play this whole clip.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're not gonna have any problems.
No,
either?
there's nothing. There's nothing.
All right.
Unfamily.
Okay.
Yeah. He's so sexy. He's so sexy.
Follow me.
Of course, when Russ says follow me.
We remember the bathroom and
Nobody knows about that. Oh.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, am I doing it to that or that?
Both, actually,
Is it
but
just for audio, or are we doing
This is for audio, that's for posterity.
Okay.
Then we can prove you actually did it.
I'm Russell Acord with Expedition Bigfoot. Right now, you're listening to Paranormal Portal.
perfect.
Thanks for joining us. And our guest host is Brent and Jack.
And
White.
Jack Wagon.
There you go.
Brent and Jack Wagon.
And Jack Wagon.
Thanks, Russ.
So, if, Don, you ever need a new chat name?
Yeah,
Jack
it's
Wagon.
Jack Wagon.
Jack Wagon will work just fine.
It's got to be an amp. Yeah. Got to have the @ symbol in there.
So-
too. @ symbol. Jack Wagon.
We just wanted to include all of that in one segment for you guys because it was such a neat experience and just a neat guy. I mean, it was just a really fun guy. And I mean, it's just look at the arms on him right there.
know, yeah, it's-
Look at those biceps. And
pythons.
this is just holding a coffee cup, for God's sake.
It's not even a coffee cup. It's a tin cup.
Oh, a tin cup?
It's not even
Yeah.
as heavy as a coffee cup.
Yeah.
He's not even stressing.
And literally, if you watch that video when we were walking through Phenomicon, his pack is sitting behind that booth.
Yeah.
And it's enormous. And no kidding. I think at one time it weighed 90 plus pounds, but I think right now it's over 100 is what he's saying. Now, if you watch Expedition Bigfoot, that man is
Good night,
actually...
Estrella.
Good night, Estrella. That man is actually climbing mountains and hills and traversing impossible terrain while lugging that thing. I couldn't lug a coffee cup through there. And he's got like a pack mule. I mean, just incredible.
That's not to say he's a jackass. He's just a pack mule.
I don't know. Yeah.
I love that guy. I so love him.
Yeah, he's great.
He's awesome.
Everybody was wonderful. But we thought we'd share that all with you in one convenient bite. But also I wanted to showcase the Paranormal Portal pieces because not a lot of you are going over there. And so I'd really appreciate your support if you'd head over there and subscribe because you get the clips and stuff.
Yes, Android. We are starstruck and slightly man crushed. Yes, that's true. It's a
Well, no, I mean, it's, you meet incredible people,
Yeah.
and it would be easy to assume that he's some kind of, snobby, Hollywood guy.
no.
But he's so different from that. And I think it's, a lot of us.
I really don't know how people like Wes and him can keep that, that down to earth.
That genuine spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know.
just it's just awesome. They're just awesome people.
Yeah.
And yes, Karen, that's that is Wes's Sasquatch Chronicles camp mug that he's got in his hand. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty
Gotcha.
nice.
I didn't get a mug. I didn't get a mug.
I got mugs, but I didn't get a mug.
All right. So we got a
You
lot.
saw that look he gave me. Come here.
We got a lot more coming up now. We're going to dive into the Discord thing now. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not familiar with it, and Sheldon, if you're still listening, could you post the link for the Discord in the chat?
Let me see if I can get to it first.
Sure. I mean, if you want to share it on the chat, whichever. But the Discord communities are a Paranormal Portal, conversation hub on Discord. And Sheldon set that up, and it's been a great community. Lots of things going on. People are always posting videos and things like that. And so there's great discussion. Thank you, Sheldon. Thank you, Don. Did you both do it?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what you posted, but yeah. So if you want to get involved over there, please join up. If you have a Discord account, if you don't, it's really pretty easy. It's a little awkward at first if you're not really good with technology, but if you take a little bit of time, you'll sort it out real quick. It's just a really fun community, and we're getting more and more people over there. But what we've been doing is to tie the Discord in with our live shows. We've been posting a questions of the week prior to the live shows on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And so what we want to do is give you guys an opportunity to share your thoughts on these different subjects. And the questions don't always tie into anything. They're just paranormal kind of questions. And so let's talk about the question for tonight. And let's see, where is it? Or where the hell? I did that one. No, I wanted this one. There we go.
It's under question of the week.
Yeah, that would be a great way to put it. Yeah, imagine that. Question of the week is this, and I actually got to give Tony Merkel a bit of credit for this because I was just browsing through Twitter and saw him post something about the particle colliders and stuff. I was like, oh, that'd be a great question, because apparently there's a claim that people are actually communicating through these colliders with other intelligences. And you'll have to tune into the confessionals to find out more. But I thought, well, that's a great question for the question of the week. It says, the rapid advancements and of the use and scaling of particle accelerators around the globe has shown us the building blocks of our universe. There are, however, those people who suggest that so much more is going on here. Do you believe that these scientific pursuits are creating huge problems for our world? Do you believe that scientists are looking for a lot more than just exotic particles? What do you think? And so that was the question, having to do with particle accelerators and colliders and stuff. So Android Purity was the first to weigh in. He says, I do believe it's possible that they might be causing some sort of interdimensional disturbance. However, anything that is anything that has a long time history of reportings like Sasquatch, canine humanoids, white humanoids, then I do not think they were directly connected to particle acceleration because they've been around before particle accelerators were created. Very true. However, it's certainly plausible these particle accelerators could be weakening the veil between our universe and other dimensions, for example, like causing a higher rate of paranormal spiritual type incidents, or these strange one-time cryptids that are reported a couple of times, then never seen again. So basically making it easier for things to come through more often. Yeah, good thoughts. Ruger Ridge says, well, I think I ain't smart enough for this question. Are they all this hard?
Yeah.
And Maggie said, yes. But Maggie did go on to say in her idea, she said, on the little I know, I think that these experiments with particle accelerators have been conducted without much comprehension or any consequences.
Correct.
I think even if they are altering the fabric of reality and dimensions, timelines, etc., they would deny it is possible unless they see any huge real world consequences for themselves.
Correct.
History is littered with scientists looking the other way in pursuit of solidifying a hypothesis.
Also correct.
Yeah, very good point. I don't know if enough at all to make an informed opinion, but to my mind, it is at the very least a possibility that the experiments are making a huge ripples, if not waves, in our reality, simply because we don't even have a solid basic understanding of how weather, tornadoes, lightning in particular work. To my mind, it would have been sensible to work on understanding this phenomena in our everyday lives before switching on something that strips particles.
But they are, because we were talking about it earlier. They're already, what did you call it? It's geoengineering.
Sure.
You know, so they already are, but
right.
Different type. Yeah.
And Lewis says, Comet Man says, the more energy they smash particles at, the bigger the portal it opens. Remember, Stephen Hawking warned of the potential for mini black holes. And that's a good point. Ruger Ridge said, hey, lady. I don't know, that's a side conversation in there. 7 and 12 Pearl says, I think spinning magnets under the earth affects the entire earth. It's very plausible, yeah. I mean, if reality is indeed combined or in concert with electromagnetic fields, then yeah, there could be all kinds of unintended consequences. Tessa says, I feel sorry for the Higgs boson gluons and other tinier particles being destroyed. What if they have consciousness? Who gave the scientists permission to destroy them? Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, how deep does consciousness go? Is it possible that subatomic particles could have an awareness? I don't know. It's hard to fathom, but, you know, what if?
Well, you know, there's a lot of theories on that.
Yeah, exactly. And then Cade says, I wish I was more educated on the subject to add a conversation of value. Well, you always add value, Mr. Moya. But to speculate, I think it's safe and very calculated. Okay.
Loves you.
All right, Ghost Magnet 81. Particle accelerators are like the one at CERN, use electromagnetic fields for propulsion and containment of the particle beams they are creating and accelerating. This, in my estimation, from my study in the paranormal, i.e. ghosts, would seem to have an effect on the surrounding ether, kind of like what happens in a thunderstorm, possibly causing some anomalous activity such as portal openings. Hawking may have mentioned the possibility of small black holes being created, but was not worried about it, and in his book talked about the Higgs boson particle theoretically could have created the world and could be able to destroy it too. The mini black holes would dissipate immediately, according to Hawking radiation theory. I'm geeking out, I know. It's the scaling down of the particle accelerators into microchips that are introduced into the body for such things as cancer research that the people at Stanford University are creating that gets the hairs on the back of my neck to rise. The possibility are endless with what they can control or eradicate with that kind of technology. Scientists may not be looking for more, but the investors behind the research are no doubt seeing a bigger picture than what they tell. Follow the money if you can and listen to what the mainstream media is touting like black holes and cryptid creation that is designed to take your eyes off the reality of that situation. Yeah, you do. You gotta follow the distraction. It's the magicians, right?
Yep.
The magician will really make you interested in one hand while he's doing all kinds of crazy stuff with the other. That is true. And thank you to all of you that participated in the discussion. I think it's very interesting, and I think you all have very, very incredible points. What do you think, Don?
I think they hit on a lot of the things that I would have hit on, you know, the whole CERN and the spinning magnets. Seven Pearls was talking about spinning the magnets below the crust of the, you know, and it's just all crazy. And then you, like I said, you combine it with the experiments that we're doing with like the Philadelphia project, the Montauk project. We talk about, you know, the geoengineering like we did earlier. You know, you put all these things together, and you wonder how many things are a result of the other. You know, what is connected anymore, and it just gets mind-boggling. It's just mind-boggling.
It is, and you're right. I think it is akin to that, to the idea to refreeze the poles, because I just don't think we have, and I understand that you need to have experiments to gain understanding, but I'm not sure that doing them, you know, right in the in the middle of like wherever CERN is and wherever all these are, but they're not like, you know, placed out in the middle of nowhere. They're kind of in, you know, populated areas, and that to me is absolutely kind of frightening, because did they know before they turned on that power? Did they absolutely, without a doubt, know? They might have had mathematical models that would, you know, reassure them, but until you flip the switch on something with all we don't know, I don't know. And what else is going on that we haven't measured yet, that we can't measure yet? And is there portals opening that's maybe adding to the weirdness and the woo of the world? I don't know. But, you know, it's all considerable things to think about. Did anybody say anything in the chat?
Oh, I'm lost in the chat.
Okay. I just wondered if anybody had any thoughts in the chat.
Well, Rachel says particle accelerators will only open portals to clown universes.
Go to hell.
Yeah.
That is hell.
Yeah, Don
would be hell.
Don doesn't like it much.
Oh,
not the
Cashy
clown
says,
stuff.
wait, we are the clown universe. That's a good possibility too.
It is, absolutely. But thank you guys for participating in that. And please get involved in the Discord and see if you would like to pitch in on some of the future questions. There will be a question before every live show, hopefully hours in advance, but sometimes not real long in advance. Depends on my ability or Sheldon's ability to plan it. But But we got that one up. And again, Sheldon posted the link again in the YouTube chat for anybody that wants to join. We'd love to have you over there and become another part of the Paranormal Portal family. So, all right, we've got a lot more of the woo and joy to get into here. And this is, let's see, where do I start? Where do I start, Don?
Where else would we start?
Where else would we start? Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Well, I know there's some. What time do we have right now? I got to check.
It's only
8:12.
a little after. Yeah, a little after.
Only it's like it should be like 7:15. It feels
No,
like.
God no.
I know, but it feels like it. I may want to start with some of this stuff. No, I'm gonna go to the article that I just had. Yeah, I want to continue with that. Where the hell did it go? There it is. Okay. So we've been working our way through a thought catalog article here and there through these shows, these live shows. We're going to go through a few more, and then we're going to jump into some creature and cryptid reports from Phantoms and Monsters and Sasquatch Chronicles, some videos from Sasquatch Chronicles. So we're probably going to go from this to Thought Catalog, which is where this article is taking place, and then going to jump over to some Sasquatch Chronicles video stuff that's posted on the blog over there. Really cool stuff, and I kind of like it. It's kind of good. I like these Wednesday shows because we can include all these multimedia elements that we can't on Friday and Saturday because of the networks. They're audio only, so it totally leaves out a part of the audience. So anyway, let's do it tonight. And so this article is, we asked members of law enforcement about the scariest paranormal call they've ever responded to. And this is a pretty good article. It's by January Nelson from 2019, and we're on number 4 on this article. Let me pull it up here. And let me pull up the OBS to make sure I did it right. Yep, we're good. All right, so this is about 4 years ago. A lady who I'll call Lucy called our non-emergency line and said she locked herself out of her house. Well, I responded to take the report in case the fire department needed to force entry. Well, I arrived first and immediately noticed a burning candle and some Jesus-y statues in the upstairs window.
Jesus-y.
I guess.
Jesus-y.
Jesus-y. The light in this room was also on, and I can't explain it, but it seemed a bit odd to me. Anyway, I approached Lucy, who appeared to be about 65 years old, and asked what happened. Well, she said she walked to her car to get groceries for her and her mother, but forgot her keys inside and the door had locked behind her. I asked if her mother was home, and Lucy replied in the affirmative. Lucy went on to say that she technically lived alone because her mom died 6 years prior, but she still lives with her in the bedroom with the lit candle and makes her presence known by turning on and off lights, opening and closing doors, and turning on the bathroom faucet. Well, I then walked the perimeter of the home and found an unlocked window into the kitchen. Since Lucy never actually left home and knew no one else was inside, I radioed dispatch and climbed in through the window to get her consent. As my boot touched the kitchen floor, I heard an audible click. At the same time, the lights in the stairway and upstairs hallway to my left turned off. I quickly walked to the rear sliding door to my right and advised Lucy what had happened. Lucy laughed and said, "That was just her mom saying hello." I told Lucy, although I genuinely believe what she told me was true, I still had to do my due diligence and ensure nobody else was inside. I radioed for a backup, and within minutes, my buddy arrived. The first thing he asked me was about the lit candle in the window. While clearing the upstairs, we came upon the room where the candle was and immediately noticed it was blown out. There were no open windows, fans, vents, or other obvious source that could have extinguished the flame. We just looked at each other with a bit of unease and went back downstairs to leave. Click. The upstairs light turned off behind us. We talked to Lucy for another 5 minutes and suggested getting a battery-operated candle just to be safe. Well, Lucy clearly thought, screw the police, because to this day that candle burns in the open window most nights when I drive by. And every now and then I'll stop and talk to Lucy to see how she and her mother are doing. Wow. Yeah, that's got to be a little surreal, right?
Yeah, definitely. But when somebody says, well, she died 6 years ago, but she's still here, It's probably best to believe them. Just saying, you know.
Well, it's funny. She said I went to get dinner for myself and my mom.
Yeah,
It's like, what does mom eat exactly?
Yeah, exactly.
The souls of the weak.
I buy her ectoplasm.
she eats the souls of the sinners. Well, anyway, are you sure it's your mom? Are you sure?
Yeah. Are you sure that's her?
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll just assume she's right. Okay, and get back to the article here. Number 5 we're on. I worked in the Naval Hospital in Camp Pendleton in 2013, and I was part of the transition team that moved the last of the belongings that they wanted from their old location to their new one. Along with others on my team, we were part of the final sweep as far as cleaning up, waxing the floors, and locking up some of the higher level rooms within the old hospital. It was a nice gig because there was a ton of office supplies that was going to just get thrown away, along with some office chairs. I like to draw, so I took home 2 chairs, one for me and one for my roommate, along with a plethora of pens and paper. Mm-hmm. In my duty section, there was also a security role of watching over the barracks, and that was just outside of the hospital. With the Navy being the Navy, they didn't transfer anyone over to the new barracks till about a full 8 months after the move to the new hospital. So someone still had to stand duty there as well as patrol the old hospital as to keep away any would-be vandals from a place they thought was completely abandoned. Of course, I would end up getting duty one day and would start getting people coming into the commons area telling me to go look at the hospital. There was very clearly a light on the 6th or 7th floor with a figure standing motionless watching outside. I put up a sign to say that I'd be leaving the office and to call my personal number should they need anything. Usually it was just to reset their key cards, but each room had four rooms with it. Each room had 4 rooms with it, so usually people just called their roommates to open the doors instead of waiting for the process of me resetting their key card. It was already pretty late at night, so I wasn't worried about it. I would go to the hospital, and it was completely locked all around. I checked to make sure that no windows were ajar, but the hospital didn't have any that opened. I even tried to lift the back hatch, and that linens and new supplies came through by truck, and that was still secured. I had no other way of getting in myself, so when my chief came down around 2 a.m., as they seldomly did, but were required to at least once a night, I made a report of it, and by this time the figure was gone, but the light remained on. I was never told if they found anyone or if it was even followed up on for that matter, but it was one of the creepiest things I remember from being there. Yep, old hospitals, those are hotbeds. Hotbeds for the paranormal.
In the hospital beds.
Yeah, exactly.
Go figure.
Number 6. A few weeks ago, I'd gotten dispatched to a 911 call that involved a female frantically screaming at the dispatcher. She's going to kill me. She's going to kill me. Come quick. I'm at, and then the address of where she was at. Yeah, that's a good thing to give them. Naturally, every unit within range of my sector and myself had radioed in a response that they were hauling tail to get there. Once we got there, we discovered the house was abandoned for some years now. And so we set a cordon around with the officers watching all exits. As my shift partner and myself and a female officer announced ourselves and made entry into the residence. We cleared all the first floor and proceeded to the second, and as soon as we got to the top of the stairs, a slight movement spooked us, and me and my partner immediately raised our weapons into a room where there was only a noose. Both he and I thought we saw a body on it at first glance. There was nothing there. We cleared the rest of the second floor and took a closer look at the noose. Some dried up blood and what I think was peeled off skin on it from an earlier self-harm that occurred over 12 years ago. We thought it might have been recent, but we didn't know at the time. Anyway, immediately after we cleared the house, we determined that it was way too dead, for lack of a better word, to have been used recently. However, we called in some detectives. But before we all stepped out, we agreed we didn't see what just happened. Reason why is my service has a policy on what was to be constituted as paranormal instances, where the second something like that happens, you are immediately suspended from duty and given your badge, your gun, and your duty belt and your vest. Before being taken on the spot to a psychiatrist-psychologist for a full comprehensive evaluation, and needless to say, I immediately called my supervisor at the end of the shift and told him about it and did the right thing by going in for an evaluation. Something to be said about integrity. I've driven past that house multiple times in the past weeks, and I've always sunk deeper into my seat as I've driven past. Something about it. It's like you could actually feel there was something off about it. City seems to agree with me. As of 3 days ago, the house is the number one demolition priority in my sector and will be down by the end of the month, and I'm just not happy. I'm just not happy that I'm going to have to go back inside next week to collect anything that might be of interest to both the city and my superiors, and luckily I won't be going in alone. Also, the female who called the 911 call was charged for public mischief under the pretext of misuse of 911 and misleading peace officers. What? Well, so it was a prank call?
Apparently so.
And then they ended up going there and seeing some really terrible stuff. Okay. All right. I'll read one more and then we'll go on to the other stuff. There's an abandoned daycare that we have to patrol. Very spooky. Temperature is different in each room. Sounds can be heard. Toys found in the roof panels. Sometimes those toys are seen moved from the roof to the floor in the rooms. Some rooms have more pressure than others, like being at the bottom of a swimming pool. And when you step inside, all you want to do is leave. Some said a child died at that daycare. Wow. Yeah, that's a creepy place. No doubt about it. But those are some creepy stories, right, Don?
It is, yeah.
All right. So I want to move over to the Sasquatch Chronicles articles that I pulled up. And again, this is from the Sasquatch Chronicles blog, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I want to reiterate that everybody knows Sasquatch Chronicles. Everybody that's watching this show, I'm sure, knows what Sasquatch Chronicles is. But I don't think as many know that it's also a fantastic blog site. And I know Wes works really hard putting up material that people will be interested in. And there's some fantastic articles and stories that don't have anything to do or at least aren't on the actual podcast. So you can get a whole ton of information. So check it out. That's at SasquatchChronicles.com. All right. So the first one we're going to talk about is this is one that I thought was important because I know we all think that we understand what sounds are out there, especially in the forests.
Especially on airplanes.
And airplanes. Yeah, exactly. But this is more about wilderness because, sometimes people say, I heard a noise. There's no way that was an animal. Well, sometimes animals make noises that sound nothing like an animal. And this is a great example of it. And this is an article from September 26th. Two lynx in Ontario have an intense conversation. Storyful Viral writes, Nicole Lewis was driving on May 18th near Avery Lake, which borders Ontario, Canada, and the U.S. state of Michigan, where she came across two lynx having what seemed to be sort of a terrible dispute. Lynxes are rarely spotted in Michigan, but are very common in the Dinorwic region of Ontario, close to where Lewis spotted these two. Although it remains unclear exactly what the two lynxes were doing, as they are normally solitary animals, the interaction must have had to do with claiming territory. Now, these sounds are bizarre. I've watched this before, and it was like, oh. So when you're out in the woods and you hear something that doesn't fit, it might actually be just a natural sound. I know that, it's crazy, the noises that like mountain lions make or whatever. They just sound like screams. It's terrible. But here you go. See what you think.
Cool. That's so cool. Who runs into this?
Oh, jeez.
Marge! Isn't that creepy, though? It's not the sound you'd think.
I can't believe we're getting this. Do you know how rare this is?
That's just unbelievable. I mean, would you think that?
Kind of pissed off at each other, huh?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh, you kind of ticked me off, you know.
Yeah, but it's not what you would think if you were thinking of what does the lynx sound like. That wouldn't be it. It sounds like an old witch, you know, like an old crone kind of sound or something.
No doubt.
That's just very weird.
Android Purity said there was at least one of these making noises at 4 a.m. in my backyard.
Wow.
It was terrible. I couldn't sleep for 2 hours.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't blame you. I mean, that's if I heard that outside my window, I'd be like, hell no, something's out there. I don't know what it is, but I don't want to know. You know.
Somebody asked if it was on an airplane lately.
It might explain the airplane noises.
Ghost says that sounds like my little brother when we were little.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's just not the sound you would envision with that frame of a cat. You think of meow or purr or roar or hiss,
Right.
but that, oh my God.
Well, that's like play the sound of a koala.
Oh God.
You want to talk about scary stuff?
Yeah, I will. We'll.
Jeez.
I mean, nature noises are just bizarre, but koalas, they look all cute and fluffy, but they sound like they swallowed Satan.
They do.
It's the most god-awful noise coming out of this little teddy bear. It's the most horrible thing ever. But, yeah. But I think it's just important to know, to recognize that there's sounds in nature that we just don't know because they're so rare, but they do happen. And I just wanted to put that out there for those of you. I know we got a lot of cryptid enthusiasts here. So when you hear things in the woods, don't jump to cryptid, It could be just a normal thing like bobcats or lynx or any number of other animals making sounds we don't really hear. And that's a big one. So thank you, Mr. West, for that one. And we got another one. This is one that I know Wes worked on a little bit. And this is from September 26th. Figure captured on camera. I should keep an eye. Yep, figure captured on camera. Or on video. It said, this video was posted on the Sasquatch Chronicles fan page on Facebook, and I have little information on the video, but it appears it was captured in the south. I slowed it down and stabilized it. Again, I don't have very much information on this. Take a look. So we're going to take a look right now, as a matter of fact, because that's how we roll here in the portal. Here's the original video. I guess I don't need to say that. The words are right there.
Ah. They sure used a steady cam, didn't they?
Yeah.
Wow, it just kind of rose up.
Yeah, it just got big. Yeah, don't look like your average bear. Doesn't have very long arms, though, does it? Stabilized. Let's see what those arms look
hey,
like.
yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to stabilize that much motion for sure. It looks big. It looks beefy. But that arm doesn't look like it's out of human range.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard there's people that claim that there's Sasquatch that have normal length arms like us, not the extraordinarily long ones. But I don't know. Every video that I've ever seen that I think is legitimate definitely has the longer ones. But it does look like a beefy figure.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez. Looks like wow. Yeah, I mean, could it be legitimate? It could be. I don't know. It's not the strongest video in my opinion, but it's really bad quality. And thanks for at least stabilizing that a bit, because being jumpy like that is just impossible to see anything. So at least when the stabilization, we can get a look at it.
Kirsten Lee says raccoons fighting sounds awful too.
Oh, how about?
I was on my way to work one night. I was working at the juvenile facility, walking to work, and I drove to work, got out, walked to the door, but there's these trees in between me and the door, and I was hearing this god awful sound. All of a sudden I heard this boom, and off it ran, right? And it was like 11 o'clock at night. And it was two freaking raccoons fighting in a tree.
Oh, jeez.
I pooped myself. It was horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
Oh, man.
That's what I get for being a city kid, I guess. Jeez.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yep. I've heard some strange things, too. And I don't know everything that I heard. But I heard some things through the years that are like, God, is that natural or not? But I'm not a big outdoorsman. I mean, I lived near a forest my whole young life, and I was familiar with those sounds.
Right.
But, when you get out of that range, it's like, well, I don't know whether that's a normal sound or not.
Rachel says that's why he's a solo Bigfoot, because the other Bigfoots make fun of his short arms.
They call him Stubby. Where you going, Stubby?
Hey, Stubby. You come here and scratch my back.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get to the last one on the Sasquatch Chronicles blog.
Oh, hey.
Now, this is a personal favorite of mine. I was thrilled to see it posted again. But this is...
You just mentioned him a while ago.
Yeah, when I was talking about his son being at the Sasquatch Roundup in Spokane.
That's
but
right, yeah.
This footage, I think, to me is like right up there with the Patterson Gimlin. It's got to be a close second. I really think this is legitimate capture, and this is the Paul Freeman film from his work. He's no longer with us, but he did capture some amazing video. You're going to see some of it right now, but he also apparently had cast tracks with dermal ridges and stuff too. So I mean, I really think he was on to seeing the legitimate thing. But I really believe that his videos are absolutely legitimate. I love his videos. I think they're very compelling and seem to be the real thing to me. All right, so you be the judge for yourself, though. I don't pretend to be an authority on this at all. So let's check this out. This is the Paul Freeman footage. Let me read it. It said Paul Freeman was an American Bigfoot hunter who claimed to have discovered Bigfoot tracks showing dermal ridges. The plaster casts Freeman subsequently made were convincing enough to be considered critical pieces of evidence by anthropologist Jeff Meldrum of Idaho State University and Grover Krantz of Washington State University, who put considerable time and resources into studying them. So, I mean, if both of those very learned men could look at that and go, yeah, these are the real thing, then his footage to me is absolutely no question. But let's check it out. This is the Paul Freeman Bigfoot footage, at least part of it. It does go on a little bit longer than this, but this is a really good clip to give you an idea. And he's up in the Sawtooths, I think, or I'm not sure where he was exactly now that I think of it. I used to know, but I've long since forgotten. But anyway, let's check out the footage. For those of you that haven't seen it, this is the Freeman footage.
Can't see much up through here.
He's following a trackway at this point.
I hear the brush popping and stuff. Oh, there he goes.
Look at the size of that thing. Boom.
Jesus.
Wow.
Get up here where I can see him real quick. Get up here. Get a better picture.
And that's there's a little bit more where he catches them walking away, two of them walking away together. The criticisms that I've heard people say about this video is that, well, it couldn't have been real. He doesn't sound like he's even upset. And it's like, this wasn't his first rodeo. He'd been doing this for an awful long time and had more encounters prior to this. So it's not like this is the first time he ever was in close proximity, but I think this is the first time he ever caught it on video.
Yeah, got that close. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, he'd been pursuing this for a very long time, and he worked in the forests as well. I don't know if he was exactly a part of the forestry department or some part like that, but yeah, I mean, he was no stranger to the woods anyway. But his reaction is still like, oh, there it is. Which, I mean, everybody knows those people that never seem to get excited about anything.
Right.
And I think maybe Paul Freeman was very much like that. Like, he was just kind of a salt of the earth guy. And that was about as much, as you get out of him.
Right.
But he has done interviews as well, and you can find those on YouTube. They're absolutely fantastic and great to listen to. But unfortunately, he is now no longer with us, but Thank God his footage is. But again, I think this is second only to the Patterson-Gimlin film, in my opinion. But, you be the judge. I just think it's great. You finding something? Oh, I already have that.
Yeah, I know. But so people are talking about the scariest things you've ever heard.
Oh, I can play that. I have it ready to go on my computer.
If you want to, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the
talking about scary things.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Oh, there we go. I got some messages coming in. Kid stuff. I've heard on a video the most frightening sound I think I've ever heard. I've played it every once in a while here on the shows, and it still disturbs me after listening to this hundreds of times.
Yes,
it still disturbs me to this day.
As a matter of fact, Galactic Pixie would turn it off when we played it.
Yeah, she would turn down the volume. Yeah, and it is really, really creepy stuff. But this is a sound, and a little bit of background on it. There was this family, and I don't remember what region of the country they were anymore. Again, another thing that I did know at one time, but don't know any longer. But they kept getting woken up by these horrendous screams, horrifying, terrible screams. And it would be like 3 a.m., 3 a.m., 3 a.m. And so they finally contacted this paranormal investigator, and this guy went over there. And he set down a series of recorders into this basement where these screams were coming from and recorded for a period of 3 nights. And as I understand it, the first 2 nights he didn't get anything. But on the 3rd night, he caught this sound. I will advise you, if you have your sound loud,
turn it down.
Turn it down. I'll turn down my master a little bit here too. But and if you're sensitive to horrible sounds, just turn it down all the way.
Don't listen. This is disturbing.
It is. Even to me, and again, I've heard it hundreds of times.
Right.
It still disturbs me to a deep degree. But we'll play it now. You can be the judge. There you go.
Yeah.
That is horrible.
So did you just poop yourself? Because, I did.
That's it. Okay. If your sound is, it's okay now. I'm making hand signs like, it's okay. Done. If you turned your sound down, yeah.
Turn it back up now.
You can turn it back up.
It's safe. You can come out of the closet.
It is by far one of the most disturbing sounds I've ever heard in my life. And you could hear the anguish, the pain,
torture,
the torture of this. Now they believed it was a demon, and I think they're probably right. That sounds something absolutely disturbed and twisted. Whatever it is, I don't pretend to know, but I assume since it has such an impact on me, just through the core of my being, I can't help but believe that's a real sound that was recorded, because any other sounds are just sounds, but there's some kind of emotion in that, and it's just disturbing as hell. So whatever you think, but yeah, that was pretty disturbing. Ruger, I got to go to bed after this.
No, he's been drinking coffee.
Oh, okay. I thought it was because of the scream. Okay. Yeah, don't drink coffee before bedtime. It's not good for you. But anyway, yeah, that's the most disturbing sound still to this day that I've ever heard. I've heard plenty of captures and EVPs and stuff that were disturbing, but if I heard that, I consider myself pretty stoic about the whole paranormal thing. Like, I've experienced many hauntings and many things directly, and I'm knocking on wood because I'm not trying to challenge the universe on this, but I don't usually get upset or even uptight about it. It happens, and then I go, I don't know, it just doesn't bother me. That scream bothers me. If I heard that, I don't think I would go down in that basement. I don't want to confront whatever that is.
Burn the damn house down.
Yeah. Let's just start with fire and see what happens then.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I heard this before somewhere. It's extraordinary. I find it hard to believe it's real. Is the source credible? I don't know. The Android. It's an old. I had found it years and years and years ago on YouTube. So, I couldn't tell you what the source is anymore, but he was allegedly a paranormal investigator. And it wasn't like he was viral or anything. It was a very, very small site. It was like, there wasn't like, when I first found it, there was maybe 50 views on that video, and it had been up for a couple of years. So it wasn't like it was, hey, I'm going to hoax this and make, go viral.
Trust us, we sent a few people that site.
Yeah, but it was, I think it's legitimate. I really do.
Right.
But anyway, again, come to your own conclusions.
Elaine says, that was in the basement?
Yeah.
U-Haul time.
What did U-Haul? Yeah.
U-Haul. Getting the hell out.
Yeah, absolutely. So those are some videos, and special thanks again to Wes letting us use those for the show tonight. I think that, I love having a multimedia aspect to the show. And whenever we complete broadcasting with the network, then we can do this all the time. But for now, we still do Friday, Saturdays with the network. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Robert, let's see, Robert the Bruce. Robert the Bruce says it must have been severely constipated. No, that was the airplane video we played at the beginning of the show.
Yeah. That
was final release.
Absolutely. So there is a backstory to it. And again, it was years ago that I may still have the video file saved on my hard drive here somewhere, but that's the audio file that I made from the video file. And I think it's very disturbing. Would you rather a demon do that or whisper in your ear? I'd rather he whisper in my ear for sure. Yeah, no question.
I don't think so. No.
I mean, not that I prefer either, but
yeah.
But if I had to deal with,
it's still going to raise the hair on your body.
Yeah, I mean, anything being that close and in your space and whispering is creepy for sure.
Right.
But that sound is just terrifying. I mean, it's just whatever's making it. I don't want to see it. I don't want. And chances are you wouldn't anyway. But
probably not.
It's not gonna. It's not like we're gonna be friendly. It's not gonna be happy I'm there.
Right. I'm not gonna be happy it's there.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be. Yeah, I'd be flooding it with holy water.
See ya.
The power of Christ compels you. With a hose. Yeah. I don't know.
Kind of like what movie was that? Constantine.
Oh yeah.
He went in there.
Lighter.
He shoved the cross into the water.
The reservoir for the sprinklers. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So yeah, there's plenty of sounds are interesting, in and of themselves. Yeah, they're tough to validate.
Yeah.
As far as paranormal evidence, but again, it still is. It's possible. I mean, everybody's heard the stories of voices when nobody was there. I've heard some things through the years that I knew nobody was there, but I still heard the sound of voices. Nobody ever called my name though. I've never heard that. I've never heard the old spectral calling my name thing. And I don't know what to make of that. But I think also some of those can be telepathic.
Yeah.
Like not all of them are.
How scary would that be though?
Yeah. I mean, it'd probably be more disturbing in the fact that you're not quite sure if it really happened or if it's something broke in your head. Yeah. But anyway.
You accuse me all the time. Why are you so broken?
Don, why are you broken? Yeah, I know. It's because I love you, though.
Yeah.
Just remember that. All right, we're going to do one Phantoms and Monsters story here. This is a Bigfoot abduction recalled by a Wyoming man. So again, this is from Phantoms and Monsters, Lon Strickler's site. You can find his podcast there, as well as books he's authored and a whole bunch of research that they're doing over there on phantomsandmonsters.com. So definitely support him and check it out.
David Barnes says, I've heard my name called multiple times. I did an extra load of laundry that week. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, that'd be a little creepy.
Tighties.
Yeah. They're brown and Lucy's now, probably. All right. Incredible Bigfoot abduction recalled by a Wyoming man from phantomsandmonsters.com. It says, a Wyoming man recalls his amazing Bigfoot abduction experience when he was a boy while camping near the Big Sandy River. He later remembers the incident in detail after talking with his older brother. Let me preface this by saying that I didn't remember this incident until I was in my early 30s. It came back to me over about a week in bits and pieces, and I think it was triggered by my brother who came to live with us. After a few days of little snippets and memories popping into my head, Out of nowhere, I finally talked to him about it, and he told me it was all too real, although he didn't know what happened to me until then. He put 2 and 2 together and shared his side of the story, which made me realize that I wasn't crazy or imagining things. I grew up on a ranch near the Wind River Mountains in Wyoming, and we heated a house with wood, so every year after the crops were in, before we had to start irrigating, we'd spend about 2 weeks in the mountain getting wood. We always went to the same place that we called Bear Trap on the Big Sandy River, and it was fairly remote because it was long and difficult to drive into the place. The only other people I ever saw there besides family were sheep herders or on horseback. And I should also add that I love the outdoors, and we spend most of our weekends either in the desert or in the mountains, and I love them both. But for the desert, because I'm much more comfortable there, I don't sleep well at all in the if at all. In the mountains, I'm always on edge. For as long as I can remember, I've not been able to go creek fishing without someone else nearby, preferably in sight. And now I know why. I think I was about 5 years old. My brother was 12. We'd been camping for about a week, and Mom and Dad went down the mountain or something and left my brother and me up there. Wow. It sounds crazy nowadays, and I remember standing there watching them drive off next to my brother, who had a .22 rifle propped up on his shoulder. After they left, I went to play at my favorite spot by the creek, which was out of sight from camp, which was probably 200 yards away. I don't know what my brother was doing, and this is what I remember. I do recall being carried by something with long, thin fur under its arm, kind of like a football. And there were at least 3 other beings alongside us, traveling upright on all fours, intermittently, and screaming and yelling at the one who had me. It was like they were telling him to put me down, and it was wrong to take me. But they seemed to be in a panic. I don't remember smelling anything. It almost feels like I was watching it happen to someone else. I don't recall any emotions, like I was a passive observer. It doesn't make sense because I know I had been terrified. I didn't like the loud, chaotic noises through it. I don't know how far we went. But finally, we came to a place that was an overhang or a cave. The dirt in front of it had been swept clean. The ones running along beside us had reddish-brown fur and long arms, and seemed like they were teenager age and a little younger. They continued to squawk and yell in protest of a much larger one came into view. They all went silent and out of sight for some reason. I had the impression she was the matriarch of the bunch. She grunted something at the one holding me, and I was put down on the ground and it left, too. I didn't feel like she was mean or meant to hurt me, just very sad. I wonder if maybe she had lost her own child and snatched me out of grief. The older female looked at me kindly and had a soothing presence. Her fur was darker, almost black, and thinner and wirier. I don't remember if she made any sounds or not, but feel like she continually communicated to me that I was safe and I shouldn't worry. She took me by the hand and led me to a bed-like thing made out of pine needles, grass, and soft bark, which was right at the inside of the edge of the cave or overhang. She indicated that I should sit there and was very gentle with me. She disappeared for a short time and came back with some water with plants in it and had me drink it, and then gently laid me on the mat. The next thing I remember was waking up. First smelling a damp, mossy dirt smell, and then feeling the grass tickling my nose. I was very confused as to why I'd taken a nap right there. I was about 20 feet away from where I'd been playing. I walked into camp, and my brother grabbed me and hugged me, and then yelled at me for hiding from him. In retrospect, he was frantic. After I told my brother my side of the story, he told me that he'd been looking for me for hours and that he had checked the area where I'd been playing several times. He also told me that Grandpa and Dad were aware that a family of these beings lived around here, but that they never bothered us. He and my dad used to leave them salt and sugar on a log every year, and they took it every time. I was unable to talk to my dad and Grandpa about it after I remembered because they had both died. When I was young, I never told my mom about it either. I did hear my grandpa telling my dad about hearing something come up the creek while he was fishing once, and it was no bear. But they stopped talking about it when they realized I was listening. The name was withheld. And that was from Steve Isdall's thefactshowtohunt.com. Very cool story. Wow. I mean, so we hear stories like Albert Ostman,
Right.
and you think that that's just kind of an anomaly, but maybe, and I've heard other stories as well, but you never really know what kind of gravity to give those kind of stories. It's like, is that really real, or is that just some creative writing? And I don't know.
You know, but it's hard to tell anymore because there are those people out there that are doing creative writing.
Oh, sure.
On YouTube and in plot and and podcasts and you've got to be diligent. You've got to be diligent and not don't believe everything you hear.
Yeah, I
or
mean
everything you read.
Right, and now interestingly enough, that was a matriarch was in charge. It sounds like
Right.
where it was the male figure.
Sure.
I don't know. Why wasn't there one present, or was there one present, but he didn't want to get anywhere near the child? I don't know. But it is interesting that maybe he was grabbed. Somehow he got the idea that maybe it had lost its young and took him because it was sad. And that's kind of a heartwarming story, but it's also a cautionary tale. I don't think you ever leave your kids alone in the mountains.
Right. Yeah.
First thing takeaway for me is don't leave kids alone in the mountains. From there, I think you can go down the list of all these valuable takeaways. But it is interesting, and it's kind of a cool story, but it's also kind of bizarre,
Right.
So what do you think? Do you think that's possibly legit, or what is your gut on it?
It's hard to tell, but honestly, it's like anything else anymore. You've got to just not have such an open mind that you let the flies in. So, but it's really hard to discern sometimes.
Yeah.
And so, it's harder to believe as we go farther and farther into these things too, though, because, it seems like everybody wants to have, that experience. I mean, so, like I said, it comes to, is it creative writing, like you mentioned? So,
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. It's really hard for me to be overly objective about these things.
Sure.
So anyhow,
I agree. It's a tough one.
It's a sea of salt for me.
Right. And it's the name was withheld, and I don't necessarily blame the person, but was it withheld because they didn't want to be identified at all, or were they nervous that somebody would realize it was them? I don't know. I mean, I don't take anything away from people withholding their name, I guess, but
Right.
it like with the Ostman story, we know who the story was. We know the guy, and you can establish a little bit about him as a part of the story because of his character that he was known by.
Right.
Albert Ostman was known as a real stand-up, honest, with a guy with a lot of integrity.
Right.
And so for him to just flash out this fantastic tale, it seems a little beyond belief. But
Right.
With this person, we don't know. We don't know anything about the person, and so that's the harder part of, do you take away that was a real story or not? Now, nothing they said was
over the top.
Over the top, right?
Yeah,
It was
pretty down to earth and
incidental almost.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
got picked up and carried. I could feel this hair hanging down from the arms. Well, that matches so many descriptions, and some of them being quadrupedal and the one being bipedal carrying him.
Right.
Everything on it matches up to what people have observed, many times.
Right.
So
Rachel says, I think it's the single event stories that are more plausible.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
I agree. That's a good point.
yeah,
Thank you for
because
saying that.
we talk about all the time. It's like once you see it, you can't stop seeing it. But you know what? I have a hard time necessarily believing that. Because these one-offs. The Albert Ostman story, Claire, Sasquatch Chronicles, Claire.
Yep.
This story. These aren't people that are all over tabloids and.
Right.
And in the news and in the cryptid news in our world.
Right.
They're just these They have these one things. They tell it. They let it go.
Yeah.
You know, and I think those are. I think she's right in a lot of ways.
That's a great point. Great takeaway. And I agree. I don't think you're wrong at all. I want to do some shout outs quick before everybody starts leaving, because I just want to be graciously acknowledging all of you guys that are here. If you want to shout out, just chat quick. There's only a handful in there.
Well, that's because they've all gone quiet.
They've all gone quiet or all gone out the door. But
Yeah.
so far, right now, we have Android Purity, Elaine Clifford, Ghost Magnet 81, Lily Pond, Maggie is here, Ninja Dave, Portal Mom, Rachel Gets It Right, Ruger Ridge, Tracy Gale, and Wonder Woman are the surviving chatters. Should have done that about an hour ago, but it just occurred to me.
Yeah.
Probably not the best time to do shout outs at the tail end. Somebody just came in.
Pammy Ann.
David Haddisheimer is
Yep.
here. Pammy Ann.
Did you say Ninja Dave?
I did, yep.
The Raven Outpost. There's a new name.
Oh, no, that's Lee McNew.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Lee. All right.
Yeah, good to
Okay,
see you, Lee.
nice.
Thanks for coming in, brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, great time. Thank you all so much for being here. And yeah, check out Lee McNew's site, the Ravens Outpost. Tracy Gale, good to see you. Thank you. And
Hughes.
And who?
Alicia Hughes.
Oh, Alicia. Okay.
Alicia Hughes. Yeah.
Very cool. Thank
Okay.
you guys.
Shout outs are done.
You know, Don knows it's almost bedtime. So
Yeah, exactly.
we got to get.
It's unfortunate but true.
Got to get the beard to bed. So, all right, guys. Well, that kind of wraps it up for us. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. It's kind of a departure from the usual, but we had a lot of video elements, and I think that adds to the presentation. Let me know what you think. You like to see more videos on the show and more multimedia stuff? Love to hear your thoughts. But join the Discord. Check out Paranormal Portal Pieces. YouTube.com/Paranormal Portal Pieces. Get subscribed. Check out the other videos that we've got up there. And please get involved anywhere you want. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Podcast. Don't forget the podcast. That's our really our crowning achievement. This one we're most well, I mean, I'm proud of every show, but the podcast has really taken off and is being listened to all over the world. So it's fantastic. So check it out. You'll find it on all the major platforms. Just look for Paranormal Portal wherever you listen to podcasts. You'll find us. So, and today or this week's episode is an interview we did with Jim Vieira,
yeah.
of the Search for the Lost Giants.
He was talking about giants.
Yeah, we talked about giants and lost civilizations or ancient civilizations. So, excellent discussion. So, all right, guys. Don, anything in closing?
That place, Teespring, for all your portal gear.
Teespring for all your portal gear, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. And we'll see you on Friday night.
And don't let Russ Acord sneak up behind you.
Watch your six. If Russ is around, I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Watch your six. All right, guys. Head on a swivel. All right. All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you on Friday night. Take care.
Good night.